The Viper PST Gen 2 is Vortex's LPVO priced between their Venom and more expensive Razor, and we're going to see if this snake can perform or will bite you in the ass on this episode. Let's skip the unboxing and just take a look at what you get inside of the box. This is the Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 1 to 6 power by 24mm LPVO. And this is their medium range, or one would even call this their budget LPVO, but it does not look like it's budget. It has these relatively inexpensive looking lens caps, bra-style lens caps, but that is the only sort of budget feature on this LPVO. It just looks premium, even though this is not their highest end model here. Right, let's take a look at this illuminator knob here, and it has an off in between each of the power settings, and there are up to 10 illumination settings. It's powered by a single 2032 coin battery that's underneath the cap here. You can use a coin or a flathead screwdriver to take that off and replace that, and it is nicely textured. Has a Vortex's standard texture pattern, which is this sort of like double diamond that provides a good contact surface, even with gloved hands in the cold or wet hands. And these are nice low profile turrets that are nice and wide, so you have a good level of control, of fine motor control with them because they are so wide. And let's take a listen. Oh, nice. These are audible and tactile positive, and really no slop in between each of the clicks. And each of the clicks is a half an MOA, and these are resettable turrets. So once you have your reticle dialed in, you can unscrew that and pop off the turret, lay it down to 0, and you can reset the 0. And let's listen to the windage. Just as loud and tactile positive, and no slop on these either. So that's nice. And let's take a look at this magnification ring. Ooh, butter smooth on that. The texturing here is a little soft, could be a little more aggressive, and this thing could probably use a throw lever. Let's take a look at this ocular focus, and this could use a little more texturing actually. It's a little slippery, even with my fingers. But pretty smooth. Not butter smooth, but pretty darn smooth. So let's take it out to the range and give it a proper test. Next. Before we get into the test, I'd like to take a quick break here and talk about this episode's sponsor, Aura. You've seen the news with those massive security breaches at those big companies that have compromised mine and probably your data. And that's why it's important to have personal digital security. And that's why I use Aura. For the price of a typical VPN, not only getting VPN service, but I'm getting spam blockers, junk mail blockers. In fact, they're removing my name from those damn broker lists. And they offer a comprehensive suite of services, including fraud alerts, scam alerts, and credit monitoring. Try it out yourself for free. Go to aura.com/moondog and sign up for a 14-day free trial. No commitments. And you're helping support this channel. You know, identity fraud is a real thing, and with AI, it's all too easy to spoof your identity. That's why you should try out Aura. Alright, let's get back to the tests. In the interest of safety, the footage you'll see through the scope has the scope mounted on a photo tripod. No firearms are used. We're looking through the Vortex Viper at its lowest magnification of 1 to get our best overall image through the glass in terms of color, contrast, detail, sharpness, and brightness. Now as we move this around, we're looking for any distortions in the image from the center to the outer edge and misalignment with the outside world, and this is pretty darn good. We're not getting the fisheyeing that you'd often complain about with a LPVO. And we can confirm the quality of this glass by looking at the telephone pole there on the very right side. With a lower quality piece of glass, you'll get a lot more distortion, and that straight telephone pole will look bent. And this is pretty darn straight, because as we increase magnification, all we're doing is magnifying any faults that we find in the glass. So let's just take a look at what this scope looks like about halfway up its magnification range to about 3. And that is 3 power there. Still quite detailed despite an overcast day. So we're not getting the color vibrancy we would on a bright sunny day. But that's a good indication of how well this performs even in less than ideal conditions. And at maximum power, and this is where we're looking at 6 power here, we are getting still quite a good amount of detail. And that is the peak of Mount Davidson, 1,400 yards away. We can see a lot of detail on the top of that hill there. Just a very minimal amount of chromatic aberration. That's a color fringing that you see at the edges of the tree tops as it meets the sky. In fact, I can see the trail marker sign at the top of the hill there. That is that white object peeking up above the bushes. That is a 36-inch sign on top of a pole, but it's still visible, and that's a good proxy for an IPSC target at this distance. The Vortex Razor is known for having a very bright center reticle, so let's take a look at what that looks like. This is at 1, 2, and these are the, I believe, the night vision compatible brightness settings. And this is at 3. This is at 4. This is at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, its brightest setting, which is even, I would say, even too bright because it's actually blowing out the details in the center there. So I would say this is definitely daylight bright. I would even call it red dot bright. Okay, we're looking through the Vortex Viper at our target's 100 yards downrange at 1 magnification. Let's bring this up to its maximum of 6 magnification. Take a look at our reference targets. And this is pretty darn sharp. I've moved up to 50 yards now, and we're going to take a look at those reference targets again in greater detail. Now let's bring this up to its maximum of 6 power and take a look at our reference targets at 50 yards. Now overall, I'm seeing a very bright, clear, and color-balanced image. I can see details like the individual splashes of bullet hits on the steel backstop behind the targets. There is a little bit of chromatic aberration. I can see a purple fringe on the targets to the left and right edges, but in our center, it's a very clean image. I can see detail like the bullet hits on the reactive sticker target on the bottom left, as well as 2 small .22 caliber holes below that sticker target. And looking at our Air Force optical resolution chart on the bottom right, I can see both horizontal and vertical lines down to element 1 in group -1, and I dare say with my naked eye down to element 2. And that's really good for a 6 power LPVO at this distance. Alright, the Vortex Viper. What can I say? It is a solid performer. Optically, it is excellent. It is really sharp and clear. I ran this at the range just to confirm that it held 0, and yeah, of course it did. I was easily able to acquire my target and reacquire my target even after movement and rapid fire, even without it illuminated. But here's the thing. This thing has really insanely bright illumination. Really super. It's like more than daylight bright. It certainly is red dot bright, and you're going to run this like a red dot. You're going to have the illumination on. Having that illumination just makes this really a pleasure to shoot. And if you are interested in picking one up, I'll include product links as well as the cheapest place I could find it online in my full written review at moondogindustries.com. Check out that article. Help support this channel. And of course, another way you can help support this channel is by just simply hitting the like and subscribe buttons right now. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. Anyway, I want to thank Monstrum Tactical for lending this out to me because they wanted me to compare this to their 1:6 LPVO, but I have to return this. Actually, I don't get to keep this or for long-term testing, but I want to thank them for sending this, for lending this out to me to use, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. You be safe out there. Moondog, out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.